Oh, I'm feeling good about this pick. Saints at Falcons, and I can't believe it. I thought Greg would take this with the second overall pick, and if he didn't take that, he'd take the Rams Cardinals. I didn't think I'd ever get the NFC South showdown between the Saints and Falcons, your favorite rivalry in football, and yet here we are, Mr. Rosenthal. And here's a crazy stat that I think goes under the radar a little bit, and I think it's time to credit Sean Payton a little bit more. The Saints have won at least 6 straight games in each of the last 4 seasons. Like, that's incredible. That is a great run of just every year in and year out being a big-time team. And I believe, what are they on, an 8-game winning streak right now? And now they get the Falcons, who obviously are frisky as heck right now. We saw what they did. They embarrassed the Raiders last week, and they got beat by the Saints a few weeks back. And now they get a rematch. And to me, 2 things to look for here. Number one, on the Falcons side, Julio Jones. He's practicing at the time of this taping. He's got the hamstring issue. When you look at the numbers, it's obvious that Matt Ryan, without Julio Jones, this offense is mediocre at best. With Julio Jones, it is a very good offense. So if Julio plays, that's a big challenge for the Saints. If he doesn't, this feels lopsided. Then again, the other point here, Mark, is Taysom Hill, start 3. Obviously, the game plan went totally out the window on some level because they played the Broncos without a quarterback last week. But at the same time, Taysom Hill didn't look like a quarterback, even though that was his position. We get to see how he looks against an opponent that's playing well, the Youngry Falcons.
Yeah, I mean, Taysom Hill might be playing himself out of a future starting job. I think it's, the Saints, and Sean Payton is excellent with backup quarterbacks over the past 2 years, undefeated with them. So there's that. It's the Saints defense, though. They have allowed 1 touchdown in the past 4 games. I mean, their pressure rate has doubled over the past 4 games. But this Falcons defense, with Raheem Morris at head coach, have gone from 18th, and Greg loves the DVOAs, from 18th to 3rd in defensive DVOA. So I think this is an interesting matchup. I have extreme confidence in what I'm about to do, though, right here. And I've gone and checked with the little men in the desert, and this checks out heartily with no concern. I'm going to be locking up the New Orleans Saints, and you can say whatever you want about it, boys.
I think that's great. I think they're kind of at the level of the Chiefs right now, that anytime you get a chance to lock them, you should. But they're not favored by much because they don't have a quarterback. I mean, this game is expected to be as closer than Rams-Cardinals. I don't think that's giving the Saints enough credit because of the matchup here. I didn't draft this game because it was such a dud last time around. The Saints' defensive line was so dominant against the Falcons' offensive line. Cameron Jordan has the all-time record of sacks against a quarterback because he just is in Matty Ice's face every single snap. But it's not just Cameron Jordan. It's Trey Hendrickson. It's Rankins when he's healthy. It's everybody. It's Marcus Davenport if he plays this week. It's David Onyemata getting pressure. They've had no chance. They sacked him like crazy when they played on Thanksgiving a year ago. Weird things happen when teams play twice in 3 weeks, and weird things happen when these 2 teams play. So it wouldn't totally shock me if a frisky Falcons team makes this close. But the Saints are the best team in the league right now. I really believe that. They don't have a passing game, so I don't trust them like the Chiefs without their quarterback back. But other than that, they're the best team in the league.
They are, according to Next Gen Stats, they're running the ball nearly 70% of the time right now. And Greg, I think there was some validity to it. You called out my comments about Alvin Kamara essentially being erased from this offense, and the fact that he's also my number 9 overall pick in my league of record in fantasy.
Nice
yeah,
pick,
of course.
Nice pick.
I'm a real person, so that's going to shade, I guess, some of my analysis, throw me in jail. But at the same time, isn't it a little bit weird? A little bit weird that Alvin Kamara is your best player on the team, and now you have an offense where you're not really using him anymore. He's not being targeted in the passing game.
It's 2 weeks, and they won games by so much that I don't think it's meaningful yet.
I just say he was
not
targeted.
meaningful yet.
He's been targeted on 13% of his routes with Hill. It was at 37 with Breeze. Maybe it's small sample size. So let's see. Let's see what happens here. But I think Alvin Kamara needs to be a big part of this. Now, there's another part of this, too. Alvin Kamara has a foot issue. Maybe they're protecting him right now. So there's too much to really draw conclusions on. But at the same time, like, this offense needs to, I think, feature Alvin Kamara, because this Taysom Hill thing, it just seems I don't know. It seems fugazi to me. Ultimately,
I would say this.
Just
I think
being
Sean
totally
Payton
real.
cares. Sean Payton cares very much about fantasy football and your fantasy team, Dan. So I think you're going to see an uptick in Alvin Kamara usage. No, it's everyone. People are going nuts.
I'm speaking
I gotta
for the people
say, though,
again. Millions and millions of Alvin Kamara fantasy owners are like, what is happening right now? This is absurd.
And you're representing them well. It's too bad Mark's not watching this game because feels like a lot of pressure. Living on Taysom Hill, playing this Falcons team. It's just a recipe. You got Young Wei Koo leading his fantasy teams to glory every week. You got Keanu Neal. You got Alua Khan on the Falcons defense. You never know. It's Mark putting himself on the line, putting his heart on the line with Taysom Hill in a big spot as a lock.
I largely feel nothing inside at this point in the season. So let's, I'll be okay. I think there's some slight projecting going on there.